Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, new fantasy football channel. Question you'll be asking yourself if you clicked on this is one, why did I click on it? And two, why do we need someone else to do fantasy football content? What I can confidently tell you is that you guys need somebody who just spits the truth. The more content I watch, the more people I've heard talk, the more I've realized that aside from one creator, and this person does have people on his show, so I guess you can call it what you want, but one person out there is the only one who actually watches the games. I respect their opinion, but everybody else is just regurgitating what everybody else is saying. It's the same stuff over and over and over, same reasons, same everything. And I find it to just be disingenuous. Last year, not to dime myself out, it was my very first time playing fantasy football. And I played with some people who had played for many, many years. And I actually won. As the season went on, I realized listening to these people talk about, who should have a good week, who's a good person to pick up off the waiver wire. It was the same stuff from a bunch of different people, like on YouTube. And I just found that to be disingenuous. I realized that people were making comments about people's performances or how people thought they would perform the following week. And it was clear that they didn't watch the tape. I have to brag on myself. I had Juwan Jennings on my team for his 40-some point performance the week that he went off, and then got him off my team the following week. Why did I have him on my team? Because I didn't listen to anybody else at that point in time. Like I said, by week 1, week 2, I was already like, I can't do this anymore because nobody's watching the tape. So I started watching every single game. Most of the games twice, some of the games 3 times, really depending on if I was really trying to focus on a specific player or a specific defense for a matchup for the following week for my players or people that were still on the waiver wire. And I just realized that nobody was talking about Juwan Jennings. The following week, everybody's like, I said it, I thought maybe he was gonna. I don't know my team. Why? Because he's a stud. He just needs an opportunity. And then, Ayuk's out, Kittle's out, Debo wasn't playing particularly well, and then the guy goes off. So holistically speaking, like I said, the whole point is a bunch of creators, all the same stuff. And it's just I don't understand how people cannot be like, hey, if everybody's telling you the same thing. We live in a world where nobody can agree on anything. Look at politics, look at the different world countries, the wars, everything across human history. People don't like to agree. But when everybody is agreeing in something like fantasy football, you have to start asking yourself why. One, again, I know, conspiracy theory, but they want to win. They want to win the leagues that they're in, like best ball and stuff like that. So of course the advice is going to just be copy and paste because they have their own edge that they're going to give themselves, or people maybe that they're close to. Number 2, the one that I really think that it is that people are just lazy. It's easy. You just, you go look at what the ECR is or the ADP is, and all of a sudden, there's your answer. So I wanted to do something, in this introduction to my channel video that is kind of different, but I don't really care. So, come over here, right? I typed in 2025 Fantasy ADP. Who do you see? Jamar Chase, Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson, Bijan, CD, Puka. Fantasy Pros. Saquon Barkley, Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson, Justin Jefferson, Jahmyr Gibbs. Ooh, he's a little bit higher. Derrick Henry's pretty high too. Oh, dang. But again, Mike Clay's, no offense to Mike Clay, don't know him. But again, Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson, Justin Jefferson, Jahmyr Gibbs again is kind of high. CD Lamb, Puka Nacua. It's the same, and I'm not saying that these guys aren't some of the best players or the best players in football at their position or overall. But again, Jamar Chase, Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson, Bijan Robinson, CD Lamb, Jahmyr Gibbs, Puka Nacua. This guy, that's Gentry really high. Damn. But what I'm getting at, it's the same stuff over and over and over. Nobody questions it. We just say, hey, here we are. If they're all saying the same thing and I'm disagreeing with them, and then there's, like I said, one other person. I can't shout them out because I have nobody watching these videos yet, but one other person who has people on who has different takes than everybody else, and his takes are right where other people's takes are usually wrong. Or just, I don't always say wrong, I don't know, sometimes their takes are just kind of off. or disjointed. Nice way of putting it. So whether you're new to fantasy football, whether you're somebody who's been doing it for a long time, my goal is to give you good information, good insight, good analysis, good data, and hopefully good quality content that you can not only enjoy but glean something from. I'm not going to go super nerdy on you, but hopefully it will help you in the long run be better at fantasy football, win at fantasy football, and hopefully, just make some noise out there in the space that if you're lazy, if you're just copying other people's stuff, if you're just going on to ESPN or Fantasy Pros or Draft Sharks and you're basically just copying and pasting those and you're moving a couple people around to make sure that it's not exactly the same, you gotta go. That sounds really rude to say it like that, but you're putting out content that's not helping people. I think that there are some people out there, again, in the space, I can't knock them on this, they have very entertaining content. Maybe that's why people watch their stuff. Anyways, though, guys, hopefully, you guys enjoy the content. Hopefully it can be entertaining enough. If you guys like the videos I do, don't like the videos I do, you guys have any questions, you guys have comments, I guess, about stuff I say, please put them into the actual videos, just because it'll help me get more feedback and maybe hone in even more than I already am honed in the fantasy football space and be just even better. And also, somebody else who has a different perspective that, again, is not what everybody else on the internet is saying, is going to be good, because that's what we're looking for. Something different, something that's helpful, and ultimately something that is the truth. That was not really a plan, but that plugged in fantastically. Anyways, hope you guys have a blessed day, and I'll be seeing you. No, you'll be seeing me hopefully soon. Bye, guys.